What if I told you that coin could be sitting right under your nose, hidden in your pocket change or tucked away in an old coin collection? Sounds too good to be true, right? Stick with me until the end, and I'll show you how to spot this incredible coin and what you need to do to get your hands on a fortune. It's 2021, and the US Mint releases a special series of coins. Among them is the George Washington Silver Quarter Dollar, a coin that's unlike any other. But what makes this coin so special? Well, in case you didn't know, certain coins, even ones from as recent as 2021, can become incredibly valuable when they have specific characteristics. And let me tell you, this George Washington quarter has one of those characteristics. Camera cut to close-up of a George Washington quarter. You see, this particular quarter was minted with the P mint mark. That means it was made in Philadelphia, and for some reason, the 2021 P mint mark quarters are catching the eyes of collectors, investors, and coin enthusiasts alike. But here's where the plot thickens. These coins, in perfect condition and with the right features, are now worth far more than their face value. But, how much more, exactly? Well, let's just say that the current market value for a pristine 2021 P mint mark George Washington silver quarter is hovering around $685,000. Yes, you heard me right, nearly $750,000. Are you starting to wonder if you've got one of these coins lying around? Don't worry, by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to check and what to do if you've stumbled upon this rare treasure. But here's where the real story begins. The excitement of finding one of these quarters doesn't come without its challenges. You see, while the George Washington silver quarter might seem like a simple coin, it's actually one of the most sought-after items in the coin collecting world right now. So, how can you make sure your coin is one of these valuable ones? Well, first off, you need to understand the difference between just any regular 2021 quarter and one that's worth a small fortune. Transition screen. How to identify your coin. It all comes down to the details, and I'm talking about precision here. Look for a mint mark, P, on the back of the coin. It'll be right beneath George Washington's portrait. Now, you might be wondering, how can a quarter from 2021 be worth nearly $700,000? Pause for effect, smile subtly. Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Let's break it down. Not all of these coins will skyrocket in value. For a 2021 P mint mark George Washington quarter to be worth up to $685,000, it needs to be in mint condition. No scratches, no wear, no discoloration. You're looking for a coin with sharp features, brilliant details, and ideally, one that's uncirculated. Think of it like finding a needle in a haystack, but that needle is made of silver, and the haystack is made of thousands of quarters from 2021. No big deal, right? But don't panic, just because it sounds rare doesn't mean it's impossible to find. And here's the thing, many of these rare coins are still floating around. You could have one sitting in your coin jar, right now, just waiting for the right moment. But there's a catch. You might not even know it's valuable until you get it looked at by the right person. And guess what? Some of these valuable quarters are being sold for far more than they're worth every single day. But who's buying them, and how do you get involved in this lucrative market? Alright, let's talk about the big question: how do you get paid big for your coin? Well, once you identify your George Washington silver quarter and confirm that it's in pristine condition, the next step is easy. Sell it. But here's the kicker. It's not as simple as walking into just any coin shop. To truly get top dollar, you'll need to find the right buyer, someone who understands the rare value of this coin and is willing to pay what it's worth. So, where do you find these buyers? Well, there are online auction sites, coin conventions, and private dealers who specialize in rare coins. These are the places where collectors from around the world gather to bid on the kind of treasure that could change your life. But beware, there are scammers out there, so make sure you do your research first. And here's the moment you've been waiting for. What happens when you finally sell your coin for that life-changing amount of money? You could be looking at a future of financial freedom, of not having to worry about bills, debt, or anything holding you back from living the lifestyle you've always dreamed of. Camera cut to clips of luxury cars, vacation destinations, and dream homes. But, what if you don't find the coin? What if you've already missed your chance? Well, there's still hope. While this specific 2021 P mint mark is rare, coin collecting is still one of the most profitable hobbies around. And here's where I leave you with a question: what if there are other coins, from different years, hiding in your collection or around your home that are also worth millions? What if I told you that some of these coins can fetch even more than $685,000? But you're not going to want to miss the next video, because I'm about to reveal some of the biggest coin treasures hiding in plain sight. Until then, check your pockets, your old coin jars, and your collections, because fortune could be just around the corner. Don't let it slip through your fingers. If you enjoyed this video and want to keep learning how to turn your old coins into cold, hard cash, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another opportunity to discover hidden wealth. What if I told you that a small coin sitting in your drawer, forgotten in the chaos of your everyday life, could be worth hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars? Sounds unbelievable, right? But it's true, and the coin in question might be hiding right under your nose. The USA 1995 D Mint Mark George Washington Silver Quarter Dollar. A coin that, if you know where to look and how to sell it, could change your life forever. But before you get too excited, let me ask you, could you be sitting on a hidden fortune without even knowing it? Let's find out. You won't believe what happens next, so keep watching till the end. You've heard it before. Someone finds an old coin, and it turns out to be worth millions. But what about you? Is it possible that a seemingly ordinary coin, like the 1995 D Mint Mark George Washington Silver Quarter, could hold such immense value? The answer might shock you. Now, this isn't just any quarter. This is a silver quarter that was minted in the United States back in 1995. It's not even that old, right? So, how could it possibly be worth anything more than the 25 cents it's stamped with? Well, the truth is, rarity and condition are everything in the world of coins. And the 1995 D Washington quarter is not your typical coin. This quarter has something special. You see, the 1995 D Mint Mark Washington quarter is one of the rarest coins to have ever been produced by the U.S. Mint. The problem is, only a very small percentage of these coins were ever made. And here's the kicker: there are people out there right now paying up to $685,000 for a single one. Imagine holding a coin worth that much. Just think about it: you could pay off your house, start that business you've always dreamed of, or finally retire comfortably and travel the world. But before you rush to grab every quarter you find, let me tell you, not all 1995 D Mint Mark quarters are created equal. Some are worth less than a coffee at your local shop. And here's the hard truth: if you're holding the wrong one, you could be in for a nasty surprise. So, what makes this coin worth so much? Why is it selling for hundreds of thousands of dollars? Here's the secret: it all comes down to the condition of the coin, and a rare error that can change its value overnight. You see, the key to unlocking the true value of your 1995 D Washington quarter lies in its grade. A coin that's been kept in mint condition, with little to no wear and tear, will fetch top dollar. We're talking about a coin with sharp details, no signs of wear, and that bright, shiny luster that makes collectors' jaws drop. But here's where it gets even crazier. Some 1995 D Washington quarters were struck with a significant minting error. A small batch of these coins were incorrectly stamped, making them one of the rarest coins in American history. These error coins are what collectors and investors are willing to pay millions for. And here's the thing: you may have one sitting right in your pocket, or perhaps already tucked away in your coin jar. You might be thinking, I'm just holding on to a bunch of quarters that will never be worth anything. But, before you laugh it off, remember this: there are people right now who would pay you six figures for one of these coins. So, unless you enjoy holding on to 25 cents worth of nostalgia, I suggest you start paying attention. Alright, Now that you're feeling the heat and wondering if you might have a treasure hidden in plain sight, let's talk about how to identify if you have a valuable 1995 D Washington quarter. It's all about the details. You want to examine the coin closely, starting with the date and mint mark. If it's a 1995 D coin in mint condition, it's time to take a deeper dive. First, check the mint mark under the D. If it's sharply etched and stands out, that's a good sign. Next, look at the condition. If the coin has no visible wear, no nicks, and the colors are vibrant, it's worth more than just pocket change. But here's where it gets really exciting. If your coin has that error, the double strike, the die crack, or any other visible imperfection, you might just be holding onto a coin worth a fortune. You can't just rush to your local pawn shop or coin dealer and expect top dollar. You need to know the right places to sell it, places that specialize in rare coins and will recognize the true value of your find. But wait, don't just rush to eBay and hope for the best. There's a strategic way to sell it. And I'm going to tell you exactly how to do it, but only if you keep watching. If you're holding onto a coin like this, don't be like that guy who sold his valuable collection to a stranger for $50. Know your worth. But here's the truth, time is running out. The value of these rare coins has been rising steadily, and the market is hotter than ever. You have to act fast because opportunities like this don't last forever. So, now you know. The 1995 D mint mark George Washington silver quarter could be your ticket to living the life you've always dreamed of. Imagine selling it for hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions. Paying off debts. Taking that vacation. Buying your dream home, but there's one thing you need to remember above all, it's all about the details. If you've got the right coin, your life could change overnight. So, don't wait. Check your change. Go through those old coin jars. Who knows? You could be holding on to a future filled with wealth, adventure, and freedom. And for those of you who want to know exactly how to sell your rare coins and make the most money from them, don't go anywhere. In my next video, I'll reveal the best places to sell your rare quarters for top dollar, and the secrets to making sure you're getting the most for your coins. Don't miss out. What if I told you that a simple quarter you tossed into a jar 20 years ago could be worth over $600,000 today? You heard that right. One 1966 George Washington quarter, with no mint mark, recently made headlines for fetching a jaw-dropping $685,000. It could be sitting in your house right now. In your drawer. Your closet. Your old coffee can labeled laundry change. Still think loose change is worthless? You might want to think again. Backhand index pointing right. Stay with me, because over the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you how a common-looking coin could be your ticket to $1 million lifestyle. In 1966, the U.S. Mint produced millions of quarter-dollar coins. Most were unremarkable. But a tiny fraction were different, so different, in fact, that they're now among the most valuable coins in American numismatic history. It bears no mint mark. It appears to be a regular copper-nickel coin, but it's actually struck in 90% silver, a composition that should have been phased out by 1965. That's where the mystery lies. Experts believe these silver planchets were mistakenly left over and slipped through the system. A minting error, that became a millionaire's miracle, and here's the wild part, this wasn't discovered in a museum or a billionaire's vault. It was found in an ordinary coin collection, tucked away for decades. Ever thought, I'll just roll these quarters and take them to the bank? Yeah, that decision might be costing you hundreds of thousands of dollars. How to spot the $1 million quarter, 3 to 7:30. So what exactly should you look for? Check the date. You need a 1966 quarter. No other year will do. It's got to be 1966. No mint mark. In the obverse side, below Washington's hairline, there should be no mint mark. Not even a faint one. The silver test. If you see shiny edges with a copper core in the middle, move on, but if the edge is uniform silver, with no copper stripe, congratulations. You might be holding silver. Weight. A regular 1966 quarter weighs 5.67 grams. The silver one weighs closer to 6.25 grams. If that sounds technical, don't worry, we've got a full checklist in the description below. But here's the deal, these coins are incredibly rare, and the clock is ticking, only a few are verified to exist. And when they hit the market, collectors go wild, and in just a moment, I'll tell you about one that sold for nearly $700,000 at auction, and why its owner almost threw it away. But first, let's be honest, how many of us have a junk drawer that's actually a retirement account in disguise? Go ahead, raise your hand. Okay, you can put it down now. Your neighbors are starting to stare at us. Oh, what happened to that legendary 1966 quarter? A man in Arizona found it in a shoebox of his late father's things that he thought it was worth maybe $20, but after getting it professionally graded, it was identified as a Type 2 silver planchet error, one of only a handful known to exist. It sold at auction $4,685,000. That's not a typo. $685,000. Single coin. Now imagine what you could do with that kind of money: pay off debt, travel the world, buy that dream home, leave a legacy, all from something you might already own. Grab every quarter you've got, from old jars, drawers, closets. Use a magnet. Real silver isn't magnetic. Weigh your coins, find the ones heavier than 5.7 grams. Get a second opinion. Have suspicious coins looked at by a pro. Do not sell anything to a pawn shop until you've checked it against expert sources. They might offer you $5 for something worth $500,000. And just wait until you hear about the 1970 quarter that was struck on a Canadian coin blank and sold for over $35,000. But that's a story for another day. So hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because we're uncovering the hidden wealth sitting in your change jar, one rare coin at a time. Comment below if you've got a 1966 quarter. We might feature your story next. What if I told you that sitting in a dusty drawer, a forgotten piggy bank, or wedged between your car seat could be your retirement plan? Not a scratch ticket, not a lottery win, but a quarter. A George Washington quarter from 1978.no mint mark.no fanfare, just silver, history, and, get this, a market value of up to $685,000. Yeah. Let that sink in for a second. And to think, you almost used it last week for a bag of chips. But here's the kicker, most people have no idea they're holding one of the rarest and most valuable quarters in American history. This coin isn't just change. It's a game changer. High-resolution imagery of 1978 quarters with and without mint marks. Arrows and annotations showing details. The 1978 George Washington quarter was minted in 3 places: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Most coins bear a tiny letter under the date, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and nothing for Philly. Now here's where things get mysterious. That no mint mark coin from 1978, it should be common, right? But there's a twist. A microscopic error in a rare batch resulted in a silver-based composition rather than the standard copper-nickel clad. An error that wasn't caught. An error that now makes this coin worth more than most people's homes. Wait, are you telling me I should start checking couch cushions? Yes. And check again. Because one verified sale of this exact coin hit $685,000. Why? Rarity. Condition. Historical anomaly. And in the collector world, that's the perfect storm. News clips of rare coin auctions, collectors holding magnifying glasses, ticking clock overlays. The terrifying truth? Most of these rare coins are spent before they're identified, gone, used for parking meters, coffee runs, or tipped to baristas. Once it's in circulation too long, its condition degrades, and with it, you're shot at hundreds of thousands. Imagine holding financial freedom in your hand, and tossing it into a vending machine. Now here's where it gets real. You have to know exactly what to look for. Close-up of 1978 quarter versus common coin, text overlays with identifying features, white heavy checkmark no mint mark white heavy checkmark 1978 date. It should be closer to 6.25 grams, not 5.67. No copper coloring on the side, no heavy scratches or dents. And if you're thinking, how the heck do I check all that? Well, don't worry, you won't need a PhD in numismatics. just a good digital scale, a magnifying glass, and 10 minutes of your time, because the time you invest now could return a generational legacy. Families smiling, vacation scenes, homes, luxury cars. All linked back to the quarter. This isn't just about a coin, this is about a chance to rewrite your story. You don't need Wall Street, you don't need Silicon Valley, you need a shoebox, a drawer, a bag of old change. You need to take action today. But here's where it gets even crazier. What if I told you there are 3 other coins from the 1970s, even more valuable than this one? In fact, one of them has been dubbed the $1 million quarter by insiders, and it might be right next to the one we just talked about. Well, you'll want to stick around for the next video, because that one could literally change your life. So go check your quarters. Hit subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Comment below if you think you might have one. We're building a community of real people uncovering real value. Wait, what's this? A 1988 D Mint Mark George Washington quarter catches your eye. It looks normal, but you've heard rumors of rare coins hiding in plain sight. Could this be one of them? Let's rewind. Back in 1988, when this quarter was minted, it was meant to be just another standard coin. The minting process was routine, and it went into circulation like millions of others. But here's where it gets exciting. This quarter didn't just get circulated, it disappeared into history, and only a handful of these gems survived in pristine condition. How could something that looks so ordinary be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? Well, when it comes to rare coins, it's all about condition, rarity, and demand. And this George Washington quarter ticks every box. Now, let's talk about value. The 1988 D Mint Mark George Washington silver quarter was initially minted as part of a regular series of quarters. However, there's something special about it. A very small number of these coins were released into circulation, and even fewer are in pristine, uncirculated condition today. These are the ones fetching up to $685,000 at auction. Yes, you heard that right, almost $700,000. And if you have one, well, that change you've been tossing around could buy you a luxury car, a vacation home, or maybe even your dream retirement. No more just tossing those coins into the jar, it's time to cash in. But how can you be sure if your coin is worth anything at all? First, you'll need to check its condition. Coins that have been well preserved, unblemished, and showing no signs of wear and tear are the ones that command top dollar. You see, it's all about rarity and quality. A perfect, gem-like specimen of this quarter could push the price tag up significantly. Now, imagine the look on your face when you realize that the coin you've been keeping in your drawer is worth more than your car, or even your mortgage. But it doesn't stop there. There's more to this story than just its value in mint condition. Stay with me, because I'm about to share some insider secrets on where and how you can sell these coins for top dollar. You've got the coin, now it's time to cash in. But here's the tricky part. Not every coin dealer will offer you the best price. In fact, many might undervalue it just to make a quick profit off your ignorance. But don't worry, I'm here to guide you through the process of getting the maximum value for your rare 1988 D Mint Mark quarter. Don't just take your coin to the first dealer you find. Do some research. Make sure you're dealing with a trusted expert in rare coins. In fact, some collectors and auction houses specialize in high-value pieces like this one. And when you sell, you'll want to use reputable platforms to ensure you're getting top dollar. Now, let's talk about how much money you could make. You might be wondering, can I really sell a single quarter for a small fortune? The answer is a resounding yes. The 1988 D George Washington quarter has become one of the most sought-after coins among collectors and investors alike. If you've got one in perfect condition, it could sell for up to $685,000. But don't wait around. The market for rare coins is volatile, and prices fluctuate. There's urgency here, especially if you've been holding onto a quarter like this for years without realizing its potential. Now, here's where it gets even better. There's still time to cash in, if you act fast. But remember, the longer you wait, the more chances you might miss out on a life-changing opportunity. Imagine waking up tomorrow to a bank account that's been replenished with hundreds of thousands of dollars. Imagine the freedom, no more financial stress, no more wondering how you'll retire. With just one coin, you can change your life. So, what are you waiting for? Look through your pockets, your coin jars, your old collections. You never know when you might stumble upon your very own fortune. And hey, if you don't have one yet, don't worry. Coins like this don't just pop up overnight, but you can still get in on the action. The world of rare coins is waiting for you, and all it takes is one moment to transform your financial future. Subscribe for more insider tips on rare coins, investment opportunities, and how to live the life of your dreams. Because when it comes to making money, knowledge is power. And right now, the power is in your hands. Stop what you're doing. If you have a 1991 George Washington quarter in your pocket, you could be holding a treasure worth millions. That's right. I'm not exaggerating. Some of these seemingly ordinary coins are selling for up to $685,000 on the open market. But how do you know if your quarter is worth anything close to that? And more importantly, how can you cash in? Stick around as we reveal the shocking truth about the 1991 P Mint Mark quarter. Trust me, you won't want to miss what comes next. Cut to a close-up of a coin in the hand of someone inspecting it. So, what's all the buzz about the 1991 George Washington quarter? It all started in 1991 when the U.S. Mint struck millions of these coins, but only a small number of them have a minting defect that makes them worth a small fortune. Most of us think of these quarters as just, well, quarters. You know, the kind you use for a parking meter or at the coffee shop, right? But here's the twist. There's a rare, hidden version of the 1991 quarter with a P Mint mark that's making collectors and investors scramble to get their hands on them. Pause for effect as the music softens. You're going through your change, and suddenly, you find that golden needle in the haystack. That one coin that could change your life forever. Now, I know what you're thinking, come on, really? A quarter worth $685,000? What's next, a penny worth a Lamborghini? Well, keep watching, because I'm about to show you exactly how these coins really have the potential to be worth a fortune. Let's break it down. What exactly makes this 1991 quarter so special? It all comes down to the minting process. Most of the quarters that came out in 1991 are pretty standard, but some were struck with a die that was just a little bit off. This tiny flaw created what we call the double die variety. These coins have a slightly doubled image on the obverse, the head side, where you can actually see a very faint, but noticeable, double of George Washington's image. It's like a second layer of his profile, almost as if he's looking at you twice. Show close-ups of a normal quarter versus a double die variety for comparison. Sounds like a fantasy, right? But this subtle error makes all the difference in the world to collectors. The 1991 P quarter with this double die error is what you need to look for. And I'm not talking about a couple of bucks here. This coin has sold for as much as $685,000 at auction. That's not a typo. Honestly, who knew that a tiny mistake from a coin factory could make you a millionaire? But hey, it's better than the mistake I made buying that $500 coffee machine last year. Let's get real for a second. That's $685,000. It's the top sale, but these coins can still fetch tens of thousands of dollars. And that's not all. There are more hidden treasures, even rarer than this one, that are out there waiting to be discovered. But time is ticking, these coins are disappearing fast, and the prices are skyrocketing. Now, the real question is, could your 1991 quarter be worth a fortune? Here's where the urgency comes in. The market for rare coins is booming, and there's a gold rush happening right now. But here's the kicker, if you wait too long to check your quarters, the value might just disappear. Collectors are looking for these rare finds everywhere, and the longer you hold on to that change in your pocket, the more you risk missing out on a life-changing opportunity. Cut to visuals of people finding rare coins in their change, with some shocked faces. But don't panic yet. You still have time, if you know what to look for. What makes these coins so rare is that not many people even know what to look for. That's where you come in. If you find that one quarter with the double die error, you could easily sell it to collectors or auction houses who will pay top dollar for it. You find that quarter, and just like that, you're holding something that could change your financial future forever. It's not a lottery ticket, it's the power of rare coins. But before you get too excited, there's a big question to answer. How do you really identify this rare coin? How do you make sure that it's authentic and not just a regular quarter with a little wear and tear? Stick around, because in just a few moments, I'm going to reveal exactly how you can check your quarters and make sure they're worth every penny. So, how can you tell if your 1991 quarter is worth all that cash? Stay tuned, because coming up, we're going to show you the exact steps to identify this rare, valuable coin. We'll walk you through everything you need to know to make sure you're not leaving millions behind. Fade out with dramatic music building suspense.